What up, world? You already know what time it is. You already know it's your boy Mac Mizzle, the host with the most. Don't need to brag, no boast. All I do is give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in a real way for us players to play. It's your boy Mac Mizzle. Yeah, let's talk about it, man. There's the truth behind ESPN Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor situation. Now, the fact of the matter is, Rachel Nichols got caught out there doing some sucker shit. So, in order for her to get in ahead of the whole situation, she basically had to basically got swept under the rug because she wasn't trying to see herself crumble under pressure, you know. Because the fact of the matter is LeBron's advisor and Rich Paul were behind this whole story. They knew what was happening, and they just tried to cover it up. And the reason, which I don't know, but all I know is this: what's done in the dark will eventually come to light. So let's go ahead and show y'all what I'm talking about. Because don't nobody want to hear no sob stories now. You said what you said, and you can't take it back unless you genuinely apologize.
I don't know what their next move is, but they are doing better because of all of that. And I'm trying to figure out like how to just, nothing is it. I wish we had all the success in the world. She's had her football, she's had her basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you're doing better, but like Kathy, one time, second anniversary, it's by the way, MSF, like, really personally, from the female side of it, like, go for it. Just, find it somewhere else. Like, you're not gonna find it with me.
Classic Rachel Nichols, acting like she cares about diversity and making change until it affects her wallet. This is the same woman who, the day after Derrick Rose dropped a 50-point game, decided to bring up his rape case where he was found innocent. This is also the same woman that lies repeatedly on national television saying she voted Klay Thompson for all-team defense, and she'll sit up there and be outraged that certain players or certain coaches don't get the rewards they deserve or the recognition they deserve, while she's not reporting on them or voting for them to get these awards. Also, guys, she's all pissed off now, but where was her support of Paul Pierce? When Paul Pierce lost his job, she had nothing to say. She was willing to let him fall into that bus. So she better not get any support from her colleagues. In fact, if this was one of her colleagues who were missing out on this opportunity and they were complaining about it just like she was, I guarantee you she would not be on their side at all, and she would say that they're just being selfish. So to sum up my thoughts on it, do I think Rachel Nichols is racist? No, but I don't feel bad for her at all. She's always bowing down to ESPN, always playing their agenda, and now it backfired on her, and she's upset. She's a part of the problem that destroyed her. And this is far from the first time that ESPN has done something like this. Remember Michelle Beadle? Well, Rachel benefited from that situation, so of course she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything about Paul Pierce. She didn't say anything about any of the other guys that were taken down from ESPN because of political correctness or wokeness. So don't get mad now. But that is all I have for this video. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. What do you make of this Rachel Nichols situation? Also, leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more NBA content just like this. And I'll see you in the next upload.
That the go along, get along gang. I've been hearing everybody talking, and there's different tiers to the go along, get along gang. The go along, get along gang reaches down and into your job and your life.
It's real talk. So what she tried to do was get in front of the story and say she's deeply sorry. That was years ago. Blah blah blah. Well, not years ago, but last year. She's put that behind her now. And then you got this cool ass Jason Whitlock coming out of nowhere saying Maria Taylor is not tough enough for her ESPN job because she was given a job during a volatile racial time in history. So basically, he's saying she was a token, but you're a token too, Jason Whitlock, because all you do is cape for the white man. But listen,
Welcome to the first episode of Fearless with Jason Whitlock. We'll start each show with me starting a fire conversation. Today, and only today, I'm going to try to start 7 different fires. My right-hand man, Uncle Jimmy, will throw some lighter fluid on each one. Yep. All right, today we'll talk about George Floyd statues, why LeBron James pretends to hate America, the letter I wrote to Black America, and much more. All that hurts.
this guy is. Let's take a look at this cool
Welcome to
ass
Fearless with
shit.
Jason Whitlock.
Talk about
I am
fearless.
Jason Whitlock.
You fear the white
Joined
man.
as always by my right-hand man, Uncle Jimmy. Good to have you, Uncle Jimmy. All right, we're going to start the show with me trying to start a fire, and I'm going to start a fire by talking about the Maria Taylor, Rachel Nichols controversy, but I'm going to take you back in history before I start this fire. I'm going to throw some logs on the fire.
See, there's black men like this that set us
About 25
back.
years ago, a bigoted co-worker at the Kansas City Star stood up in a staff meeting and complained to the publisher and the editor that I was an unqualified stain on the newspaper. Including myself, there were approximately 25 people in the meeting. There may have been 2 other black men in the room. No one offered me a defense. The publisher and editor muttered a weak rebuttal. I left the meeting mad, but I also left the meeting determined to continue to shine, determined to make fools of anyone who doubted me as a journalist and a columnist. At the time of the meeting, I'd worked as a sports columnist at the Kansas City Star for 3 years. I was wildly popular. My impact and success at the Star had been chronicled in a cover story by the Columbia Journalism Review. My impact and success caused the publisher and editor to direct additional finances toward the expanding sports department. My co-worker was a raving, jealous lunatic with a well-known reputation for bigotry and sloppy work. I never sought an apology from him. His support was immaterial to my success. I worked alongside him for the next 13 years without incident. He covered one of our major beats. We communicated when necessary. I bring all this up because I don't understand the Maria Taylor, Rachel Nichols controversy. In a private conversation, Nichols politely told a friend that Taylor's race played a role in Taylor getting the ESPN NBA Countdown hosting job over Rachel Nichols. Nichols did not disparage Taylor's talent or work ethic. Nichols did not state her opinion publicly. Nichols did nothing to offend Taylor.
One question. Just one question. How many times has white people been picked because of racial disparity over a black person? Countless of times. Now he wants to make it seem like, hey, this is just, I'm sure we go through as black folk. Suck it up, buttercup. That's the whole situation, though. She shouldn't be saying that because if it were the other way around, and then Shorty said, oh, she only got that job because she was a white girl, it would have been a big controversy as well. So, it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. And sometimes you got a little bit of put a little bit of paint where it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Continue.
Nothing. Nichols' private conversation was accidentally recorded and a year later intentionally leaked to the New York Times. I wonder who did that. Taylor has refused to speak with Nichols and has refused to appear on camera with Nichols for the past year because Rachel Nichols had the audacity to think ESPN plays the racial diversity game. I wonder where she got that thought. This story reached full absurdity Monday afternoon when Nichols opened her television show, The Jump, by stating she's, quote, deeply sorry for hurting her co-workers and Maria Taylor. Take a look.
So the first thing they teach you in journalism school is don't be the story. And I don't plan to break that rule today or distract from a fantastic finals. But I also don't want to let this moment pass without saying how much I respect.
She's guilty.
I value our colleagues here at ESPN.
Check her out.
How deeply, deeply sorry I am for disappointing those I hurt, particularly Maria Taylor, and how grateful I am to be part of this outstanding team.
I love the way Rachel's voice broke. How deeply, deeply sorry I am. Love that. That was a nice touch. Former NBA players Kendrick Perkins and Richard Jefferson then briefly scolded Nichols before slobbering on about how great Taylor is. Nichols spoke for 27 seconds. Perkins and Jefferson, two people who had nothing to do with the friction between Nichols and Taylor, rambled for 40 seconds apiece. It was bizarre. This entire controversy is ludicrous and it feels manufactured. It reminds me of the Matt James, Rachel Kirkconnell season of The Bachelor, ended about 6 months ago. Jim, you remember that? A white woman went on national TV in pursuit of a black husband. She was willing to take the black scene. That's her business. Yeah. And she was framed as racist because 3 years earlier, she wore a sundress at a sorority party celebrating the old South. That blew my mind. And that's what this reminds me of. This is what television networks and television personalities do. They gin up and or exploit racial dysfunction for ratings, relevance, and in the case of Taylor, contract leverage.
What?
I couldn't imagine pretending to be as fragile as Taylor, a 34-year-old former Division I basketball and volleyball player. I couldn't imagine being so obsessed with the opinions of white coworkers that their private thoughts could hurt me to the point that I'd expect the company's human resources department to address it. This is embarrassing for black people. And I say black people, and not just Taylor, because Kendrick Perkins, Richard Jefferson, Jalen Rose, and several other black ESPN employees have publicly validated Taylor's allegedly hurt feelings. This is my problem with modern liberals, black and white. Black liberals turn emotional and weak at the thought of a white person not rubbing their bellies and patting their heads in approval. They believe that the approval, appreciation, and affinity of white people are necessary for black success. Never been true in my career. My work ethic has always determined my level of success. I worked at the Kansas City Star for 16 straight years. Throughout those last 13 years, the management of the Star tried to satisfy my detractors and diminish my level of success and spotlight. Was the management racist? Not really. A few of my detractors definitely were, and they squealed loudly. Management oiled the squeaky wheels. It's what weak leadership does, and there's a lot of weak leadership in America. I didn't have time to squeak. I was too focused on letting my work squeak back. In 2007, I won the most prestigious journalism award the newspaper had received in 15 years, and my work earned me an appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show when the Oprah Winfrey Show really mattered. I started working for ESPN and Fox Sports. I launched successful local radio shows in Kansas City. I overwhelmed my detractors with excellence. The excellence I produced swelled my bank account. In 2010, I left the Kansas City Star for far greener pastures. A decade later, no one knows the name or the work of my KC detractors. Maria Taylor doesn't have detractors. She has competitors. No one is questioning Taylor's broadcasting talent. She's a natural on camera. Does she work as hard as her competitors? That's up for debate. In the past year, she's chosen to cut corners by constantly playing the race card and claiming that any and every slight is a bullet to her head. She acts like she's not woman enough to handle the natural turbulence and jealousy at the top of any and every industry. Rachel Nichols has handled this kerfuffle like a grown woman. Taylor appears childish. At the top of her TV show Monday, Nichols symbolically rubbed Taylor's belly, patted her on the head. Black Twitter was very pleased with the apology. It's embarrassing. The level of delusion fueling this fiasco is mind blowing. According to the New York Post, Taylor wants a contract similar to Stephen A. Smith's $8 million a year deal. Oh, that is crazy. Oh, it's a preposterous demand. Everyone knows it. Taylor doesn't know the position she plays. To use a football analogy, Taylor plays center and Stephen A. Smith plays quarterback. Smith is ESPN's franchise quarterback. He's Lamar Jackson. Viewers tune in to see him succeed or fail. On NBA Countdown, Taylor snaps the ball to journeyman quarterbacks Jalen Rose, Jay Williams, and Adrian Wojnarowski. Here, Jared Goff, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Sam Darnold. You can replace Taylor with another center, Rachel Nichols, and no one would notice. The difference is Nichols can handle the physicality of playing in the NFL. Taylor can't. She requires constant worship, belly rubs,
Is
and
this
head
guy
pats
retarded?
from white people. Not gonna happen. Trust me. Her black peers, including the ones publicly supporting her, criticize her privately. My credentials as an Impact Sports journalist are undeniable. I still have detractors. It's the price of success. Pay the price. Go work at a fast food drive-thru. Uncle Jimmy, how's my first fire?
Hold up, Smolo. Hold up, man. Before you get your panties in a bunch,
Yeah,
I've been taking some notes here.
yeah.
Now, I need to announce that I've come to the conclusion that I think that ESPN, the conclusion,
The conclusion. Go ahead,
you
man.
come to yours, I'll come to mine. I think ESPN might be turning into the WWE. First of all, before you get started, let me explain, all right? WWE stands for World Wrestling Entertainment,
Yeah,
all right? ESPN stands for Entertaining Sports People Network.
entertaining.
Yeah, see, the WWE is built up of good-looking people who be pretending to have fights out in public. Okay? Now, unbeknownst to us, the general public, the winners of these events are predetermined. Okay? And see, that's the only thing that's going on over there at ESPN. So you look at ESPN, look at what's happening. You got Maria Longlegs Taylor going up against Rachel Little Ginger Nichols. Okay? See, this ain't nothing more than your typical girl fight. Bro, they're gonna be screaming, slapping, pulling weave. It's gonna be unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? See, you don't get this, nephew.
On what? Unbelievable.
It's gonna be unbelievable. Okay? See, you don't get this, nephew.
Yeah,
See, most of these WWE wrestlers,
yeah.
they don't even write their own storylines. Their scripts, they're given to them. Okay? And they're given to them, and the things they say on camera, they don't really mean. Somebody gave it to them. It's their job to make it look believable. Okay? See, let me tell you something. Look, I got it written down. Let me tell you about.
So ESPN is playing the whole race card thing, right? I could dig it. But herein lies the problem. Ain't nothing wrong with playing the race card if the race card is being played. Don't call out race. When you turn around and call out your racism, you say you're playing the race card. No. Racial niggas got caught with their foot in their mouth. It got leaked. ESPN has to handle it as the boss, you know. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, if you really understand the way show business works, it's like it ain't what you know, it's who you know. So who knows what's going on behind the scenes? But I think we know for sure. 'Cause we heard what she said, and even if she did apologize or she didn't, who is Jason Whitlock to say, oh, just brush off your mistreatment. That's how we treat black folks. You know what I'm saying? Look at me. I'm accomplished because I didn't. I looked past all that racism. You know, not knowing that he's a token him damn self. So, what is he really trying to find? He's trying to find himself because he knows his reputation is hanging in the balance. But right now, he just don't care. He just going straight ahead against black folk just to make himself feel better. Because at the end of the day, ain't no way he should be dissing Maria Taylor in this instance. And who cares if she wants money like Stephen A? You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't she get paid the same amount? Or she feels that she's worth that? You know, it's the difference between workers and bosses. Yeah, she's climbing up the ladder, but maybe she wants to do her own thing, so she's trying to get into the best position possible, you know. Or if not, let it all be equal, you know, on an equal playing field. So ESPN, if you hiring one race over the other, you need to put a stop to that practice. You know what I mean? But if that's what's being pushed on the TV screens and being pushed to society, one race over another, or do we expect the trickle down effect to be? We all are part of this whole scheme. So don't get caught up in what Jason Whitlock was saying. Because he's confused as hell, man. Talk about he had detractors, but upper management weren't as racist. There's no as racist, man. It's either you are or you're not. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line to this whole thing, you know? You got two women, probably competitive in their own field, and want to handle certain situation. But I'm pretty sure Rachel Nichols wouldn't have said that if she would have got the job. She wouldn't have said, "Oh, Maria Taylor." If she got the job somewhere else doing something, or she got that job because she was black, it's only because she took her job. She had something to say. So make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Got to make sense. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, gotta know yourself. Why would you go out of your way to defend a woman that's being racist to your own kind just to prove a point? It doesn't really have no validity to the situation at hand. So he's basically saying, don't call out no racism. Just let your work speak for itself. And eventually, you'll be at the top, talking down to black folks as well. That's just crazy. Anyway, you already know. It's your boy Matt Mizzle. And you know one slogan. Keep it real in the field. Forget how they feel. Have them down. Peace.